Now entering Nerdist.com.
Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin. Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin. It's the Jackie and Laurie Show. The Jackie and Laurie Show. It's the Jackie and Laurie Show. The Jackie and Laurie Show.
Oh my God,
Do
I'm
it.
so sorry.
You know what? Your life is full, Laurie Kilmartin.
I thought we were taping tomorrow night.
I know it. I know it. It's,
And I had just switched bras.
to your sleeping bra?
I was in my sleeping bra, in my pajamas.
Well, and we appreciate it, Kyle and I, that you hauled ass, because you seriously made amazing time, quite
Thank
honestly.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Guess what I did today trying to make amazing time?
What?
Drove over a piece of rebar and gave myself 2 flat tires on my passenger side.
Oh no.
Let's light $300 on fire.
Oh no.
AAA is really happy that I've been a member for 23 years, and I haven't used it in about a decade. But every year I up it. I re-up.
You didn't see it, obviously, right?
No, I didn't.
Or were
And
you just like, I'm gonna fucking flatten that rebar?
that's it. I was fighting the
And
man.
rebar's that stuff that goes under a house.
It's underneath concrete.
yeah. So
And
it's-
so the curb had worn away, I think, because of the rain.
oh.
And so it had opened up this piece of rebar, and when you sometimes cut into a gas station too close, and so I went over the curb, and I heard myself go over the curb, and I was like, oh wow, that was intense, and there were a lot of.
Can you sue the city for
A guy told me.
damages?
A guy told me that I should. He came over from, and granted, I pulled into an Arco, so the
They're
quality
ready.
of humanity that is ready to sue somebody is at an Arco. It's at an AM/PM. But I'm not going to, because it was entirely my fault. But they should probably They should probably lay some cement over it, because
sure.
it's not just going to be me who's decided to have bad depth perception or whatever the fuck happened. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so yeah. So, but you made amazing time over here. Mm-hmm. Good for you.
I had a fun little set tonight.
Oh yeah,
At Wolf Den, which is
Wolf Den.
hold on, it's somebody's like front yard.
Yeah.
And remember, I told you I did a benefit for a politician.
Yeah.
It was in almost the same, like 3 houses down from that place. I'm like, wait, I recognize this crazy road.
This neighborhood is full of comedy gigs.
And it was outdoors, and they had it's such
Like
an
tea
LA.
lights and-
I love that LA thing of yes. Are those called tea lights?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, they're hilarious. You can tell that this town is full of lighting directors because everything is super well lit.
Everyone's yards are gorgeous.
Right.
And I guess, and maybe the drought's over. I don't think you should ever consider it over, though, because it's
and it's not
cyclical.
actually.
Yeah. But
we're doing good.
It's
We're
the
doing
only
better.
way you can actually control how your yard looks is by putting lights in it, because
Right, you
otherwise everything
can't.
just dies.
Yes. You're hearing Rabbit Hole possibly below us.
Yes,
at
for
Meltdown
sure.
Comics and Nerd Melt.
And so it was fun.
Oh,
It
that's
was-
great.
Yeah.
How much time did you get?
I got like 10 minutes.
Nice.
And I did some stuff. It's there's a joke where I thought for a while, I know there's more here. This could be a gigantic chunk. And I keep trying to hit it at all these different angles, and it's like, it's really it's not.
just what it is.
It is what that's what it is. And even though there is more to it, I don't have it yet.
Right.
And sometimes jokes take like 10 years.
Yeah, they can.
Or 2 albums to complete. It's so annoying. But then I just sort of tightened it up, and I was like, all right, it's just going to be one more joke. It's not going to be a chunk. And so, it's fine, but
Yeah.
it's not what I thought it would be.
Well, if you want to tell me the premise later or whatever.
No,
it's,
you've heard it 20 million times. I
Oh, okay.
can't-
So there's no. I didn't come up with some miraculous new angle
no.
in the last 4 times I saw
No.
it. Fair enough.
But like all the little, I gave it space in certain parts of it, and
Yeah.
hoping I would fill that space with more jokes or something, and then it just took too long.
Yeah.
And so now I just took the space out, and it feels jarringly quick, but it's
It's
punchier.
a real joke. Yeah. That's awesome though.
I guess.
That's fine.
It's
You'll
fine.
read
I
another
hate being
joke.
late.
Oh, well.
Well, this, and then, I got an email from my son's teacher. He had to be separated.
He's amazing.
No.
Oh, my God.
He's amazingly distracted.
Right.
And I think he's constantly trying to get laughs. And, but that's not it. If you're a teacher,
Yeah, that is
hey,
not
I'm
unusual.
a comic. I don't want a fucking heckler. I'm like, my son's the heckler in the class.
Yeah.
So
This is not what I raised you to be.
yes,
Tell
and
him
I'm
that.
like, is this because I'm off always doing little spots and doing podcasts, and so he's getting back at me, or would he be this way anyway? So now I'm questioning all my life decisions, and then I fucking forgot about this thing.
Oh, right. Well, I think you do stand up. He's going to want to do, like, if you were a plumber, he'd bring a wrench to school. I don't
Really?
know.
Is
This
that how they
analogy
do?
That actually does. May or may not work out like
I
that.
don't think so.
I did a storytelling show. I did
Yeah.
like a half a dozen podcasts, and I've done. I did an indie animation thing where I got to do a voiceover,
Oh yeah,
and I think I love voiceover because get this,
you have a good voice.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Well, I do some. I have a couple of podcasts, and but the voiceover, you don't have to memorize the script. You
Oh,
could just
yeah,
have the
it's right in
script.
front
You
of
can
you.
work on it.
Yeah.
You could make acting choices.
Yeah.
But you don't have to fucking memorize it. And yeah.
That's a sweet
So it was
gig.
awesome. And then yesterday, my buddy Greg Fiddler is pitching some sort of comedy game show idea.
Yeah.
And so he wanted to shoot like a sizzle reel kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so we went over to his house and shot. He had some quiz show kind of jokes, and it was Ian Abramson and Kira Sultanovich.
Oh,
and
cool.
Super fun. Yeah. So those guys are hilarious. Everybody's super funny.
Yeah.
And my kitchen is almost done.
Dude, how long's it been undone?
5 weeks.
Oh
It's
my
almost
God.
6 weeks. Tomorrow night they're gonna put the sealant. I was just showing Kyle the video of. It looks like what I wanted it to be was sort of Doris Day's. Because we have a 1951 tract house.
Yeah.
I wanted Doris Day's kitchen.
Sure.
So it's bright blue, yellow, and red. I'll show it to you.
Wow.
Yeah, it's but it looks really cool. Like it's mostly blue, so it's
Yeah.
not like mostly yellow or red.
Yeah.
So it just looks, and he thought it looked like Zelda. He thought it looked like a video game.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, and
There's
super
this.
fun. That was very polite. Well played. That's how disconcerted she is that she's late. She didn't even make fun of it. She was just like, oh good, very polite.
I thought Zelda Fitzgerald. I was like,
Yes.
I was trying to
The
what kind of
Algonquin
kitchen
Round
did she
Table.
have?
We thought we were
No,
talking.
that wasn't the Algonquin.
I
That
know
was
it was
F.
earlier.
Scott,
It
right?
was before.
Yes.
Yeah, it was before it.
But
I love that we're not that old, you guys. Zelda Fitzgerald.
but well, maybe she had a kitchen, iconic kitchen. I don't know. Why wouldn't she?
Why wouldn't she? Why not?
The
It'd
house
be good.
on Egg Hill, or was it Egg Hill?
I don't know. I don't know.
West Egg. Yes, right.
Kyle's well read, you guys. Kyle's well educated. Good for him.
How many times does he withhold information, just letting us babble ignorantly about stuff?
I 50-50. I was going to say that's a conspiracy theory. The man holding us back. It's oh, by the way, did you end up watching? Because I asked you if you were going to watch the trailer. Because I know you wouldn't watch the movie because
No,
nobody
guess
should
what?
watch
I was
the
going to
movie.
do all my Jackie stuff
Tomorrow?
tomorrow
You
because
were
the
gonna-
podcast is tomorrow.
Sadly, not tomorrow. Wednesdays. We're going to be doing it Wednesday nights now, in the foreseeable future until I'm gone.
All right.
And but the but the comedian, which is Robert De Niro, playing an asshat.
Oh, that trailer.
yeah, the trailer
Okay.
for that.
Yes.
Because it's him. And I can't remember, but I watched it
Josh
now.
Gad is in it. Is that right?
I'm sure. Isn't he the guy who played Olaf on the Frozen? Yeah, and he plays the
Maybe.
dog in the dog movie.
Well, I'm glad he has an actual human part this time.
Yeah, this is nice, except for that he played a comic. Is that a human part?
First of
is
all,
it really? Huh? Come on.
I haven't seen it. I've heard it's awful,
Well, it
which
actually
makes me almost want to watch it because
Well,
I
It
I
actually
love failure when it comes to stand-up movies about stand-up because you can't do it. So fucking stop trying, okay? What you need to do, you need a comic who's willing to give up their material and
Their
let
A
it
material,
be used.
yes.
Their A material but you're not going to let them star in it. You're going to give your A material. No one would give their A material to Robert De Niro. I don't give a fuck who it is.
Right.
Nobody
It's not
would.
happening.
Because that takes decades to come up with. You're
Right.
not going to hand it to De Niro.
Right.
So you're going to get a screenwriter's version of what stand-up is.
Yep.
Which is not funny.
No.
That's why
And-
it's so fucking hard. Because it
Well-
takes years and years, and you can't do it in final draft on a deadline, okay?
I'll tell you this is my problem with watching stand up on besides of course that nobody's going to give up their material
Mm-hmm.
is that watching stand up on television already has that disconnect.
Right,
You know,
right,
stand up
right.
is best seen live.
Yes.
And then my opinion, stand up is then best heard just as audio.
Yeah.
And then video, and then video.
Yeah.
And so if you're doing a movie about stand-up comedy, it's not even like a Conan set.
Yeah.
You have a set that is happening in front of a fake audience who are actors. It's an actor doing comedy with a room full of actors laughing at it, and then there's a 9-camera shoot. And so it's too many layers of glass. You can't hear it,
Right.
in my opinion.
I agree.
It's like fish. You're like trying to tell jokes through water. It's impossible.
I agree. And also, when you see a stand-up on Conan, you get to evaluate whether a person's funny or not.
That's it.
Okay? In a movie, the movie's telling you this is a successful comedian.
Yes.
And so you immediately go, well, I don't think that's that funny. And then the whole movie's ruined because you don't even buy the initial premise that this person's funny.
Right. Did you ever see that Chris Rock remake of Heaven Can Wait?
No.
It was Chris Rock. We got a brilliant comic.
It wasn't good?
No, it was not. Warren Beatty in Heaven Can Wait was bad enough.
Yeah.
So Chris Rock, because in Heaven Can Wait,
Swinging after Warren Beatty. It was like iconic role. Jesus.
I loved it, but you got to know, I was 9. So he played a football player, and he was
Too
very
old for Warren at
and
the
he was
time.
handsome. Wow, who's swinging now? But he plays a football player who dies by accident, and whoever here it's a Heaven Can Wait is a remake of Here Comes Mr. Jordan. Oh my God, the IMDb page. Go
Right.
look it up. So the angel
You're
takes.
angry at your own knowledge.
I am. The angel takes Warren Beatty's soul before he was going to live. And so they're like, oh, well, put me back in my soul. Put me back in my
body, right?
And they can't, so they find him another body, and they're like, well, you can still be a football player. And they try to do that, and that's the whole movie. Well, Chris Rock does the remake. They pull him out of his body too soon, and they're like, you can still be a comic. You can still be a comic. And so they put him back in his body, and he's got to write a new act.
Who's his body?
It's all Chris Rock anyway.
Oh, I
It's-
see.
Right.
Okay.
It's one of those quantum leap. He looks in the mirror. It's a different guy,
Oh, I see.
but it's
But he plays it.
but he plays the whole time. Yeah. So I think they picked. I haven't seen it in years on purpose, but I think they picked another black comic.
Okay.
Because you can't write a whole new act. No, I didn't understand what the premise was on the. Whatever they do, I saw the one. Was it Julie Cat? Who did the polka dot?
Oh, that was Sally Field in Punchline.
No, there was Sally Field in Punchline, but there was another one.
Oh, Julie with the scratchy voice who was
Scratchy
Rhoda's
voice?
sister.
Yeah.
Cavender? Yeah. Kavner, yeah,
Julie
yeah.
Kavner. She was Rhoda's sister, and she played a rags to riches female comic, woman and female, and who went on Johnny Carson.
Yeah.
And her hook was that she wore polka dots.
Oh, my God.
And it was one of the dumbest. It was just, people are, and they want you to see King of Comedy. Did you see King of Comedy? Which is
Yes.
the Jerry Lewis.
I know that. I loved.
Well, that's just a thriller.
Yeah.
And it's about shitty comics, right?
Yeah.
And
I don't remember what it's about anymore, but I remember Sandra Bernhardt being fucking amazing.
right, there's some
Yeah,
amazing
a psycho.
Right. Well, and the thing about
That's
comedian,
closest to stand-up comedy than anything I've ever seen. Is holding someone
just
hostage
find a
and
couple.
wanting to
Right, exactly.
murder
Find some psychos. Well, and that's what drew me to the trailer of Comedian with De Niro.
Yeah.
Because it didn't seem like it was about his stand-up. It felt like it was about what a shitty human being he was. And
Right.
you're like, oh, it's about a shitty human being who's a comic. and there's some redemption, but she has to be 40 years younger than him. And so whatever. But it's so that's what made me not want to see it. Plus, I know shitty human beings who are comics, so I don't need to see that movie.
Yes. I think you could maybe make like okay, Louis does stand up on his show, stand up on his show, and it's his own stand up because it's his.
Right, and he's willing to give up his own material
for his own show.
For his own show.
Because it's called Louis. Same with Seinfeld.
Right.
That's when it works. Okay?
That when it works.
I wonder if you had to get an actor to play a stand up, if you just showed everything but the stand-up, if you showed them backstage and you showed their real life and you showed the audience responding to them, but you didn't show the act, you could tell the audience what kind of a comic he was without having the audience be forced to judge it.
I would actually kind of love to see that movie, just sort of... just have them show up at the club and leave the club.
Yeah. Shia LaBeouf goes out, and you just see the audience staring and frowning and crying, and you're like, "Oh, he sucked." Okay,
Smash cut.
Yeah. But you never see their act. Actually,
you are correct. That is the best way to do it. And then it can be The Promise of a Dog, or what? I mean, it could be any goddamn movie. Then, right?
Because. Also, I mean, when I'm watching stand-up and I'm seeing, some asshole kill, I'm like, am I just not from this planet anymore? We're watching the audience being shocked when they don't laugh when we think someone's great and they're not laughing. So
that's kind of hilarious.
Yeah. So how the audience treats the comic is how the comic is treated by the industry.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, in real life. Right.
In real life.
If they're brilliant but bombing, that's how the industry treats them.
Yeah, they don't get it. Yeah.
And if they're killing and you don't understand it because the jokes all suck, it doesn't matter.
A lot of parts of the industry aren't even listening to the jokes.
No, they're probably watching the audience too. Who is watching the comic acts besides other comics?
Other comics.
Hey, I have a bit like that.
Here's my favorite.
Paying attention.
How awesome is it though when you know someone who's a freaking genius or who's amazing, and you just watch them eat it? And
it's the best feeling.
It is some of the funniest times of my life is to just watch people I love, like brothers and sisters, just chew
because you hate your brothers and sisters, really, because they took your parents' love from you.
I end up just hating the audience, but I'm just like, and now, because I think I just love watching them deal with it.
Yeah, me too. I love that
I'm just
too.
like, because I've seen that joke work. Like, you're watching them, you've seen the joke work, and then you watch them and you're like, oh, this is not.
My favorite
working?
is that, because I did a show in London, a TV show in London, and like, I don't know if I told this, I think I did tell the story, but the audience sucked. It was like World Stand Up or something like that. You know, that Comedy Central show?
Yeah.
So it was awful. And so everyone was like, just go out there and pretend you're killing. They'll sweeten it. They'll sweeten it. Don't worry about it.
They'll sweeten it. The death knell of any comic right before.
They can't sweeten the look in your eye when a joke doesn't work. That stays. No one can take that away from you. So that's what I love when it's everyone's going to be bombing. I love to see, and I will experience it myself too. That look when usually you get the big laugh and there's nothing,
right?
And that pros rebound very quickly, but there's like a millisecond where it's like fuck.
Yeah, I was watching. Damn it, I can't remember who it was. Of course, somebody's half-hour special on Comedy Central with the person. And or it was, she said that she had such a hard set that it did not go well, and they had sweetened it. She said, "But look at my eyes. You can see in my eyes that I am not doing well." And I was like, and I did. I watched it with just that point and purpose because I don't want to watch your special
unless you're bombing.
Unless there's something for me.
Send us the link.
Please send us the link. I'd love to watch how you deal with just eating it for 22 to 47 minutes.
See you kill. Who wants to see that?
I want to see you kill in real life. I don't want to see you kill on television. Who gives a shit?
There's I guess there's like a comedy history of comedy thing on CNN, and I didn't watch it. I guess they interviewed everyone but us. First of all, That's the number one thing I'm not going to watch if I'm not interviewed.
Exactly.
Like I can't make it's like a 10-hour. I'm not 30 seconds in your 10 hours. Oh my God. I don't need to be reminded of how insignificant I am.
Exactly.
CNN.
I wake up every day with that on my brain. Thank you so much.
But they had like one segment dedicated to women in comedy, which is just so appalling.
Yeah, I didn't. I text you. I was talking to somebody who said that she did stand-up comedy in the 80s, and there were no women. And then I just started, and it was in New York in the
New
80s.
York, where there was tons of women.
Right, and I just started naming people.
Yeah.
And I even named you, and she was like, no.
No, I wasn't there in the 80s.
But
Kathy
who,
Ladman, Carol Leifer, Susie Essman, Corey Kahaney, maybe Vanessa. What late
Vanna
80s?
Michaels.
Vanna Michaels.
Vanna Michaels.
I didn't know Vanda in New York, though.
right, and she was there in 84. So she was there early.
This girl, Robin, I forget her last name. Montague, Robin Montague, Leanne Lord.
Yeah, Leanne Lord.
Judy Gold.
Right. Wow, I think you just did a litany of people that we need to have as comic of the week. Hey, are we at 30? 20.
Dream
Okay.
on, sister.
Well, it's because I like to do the comic of the week at 30. Have you noticed? Have you spent any time thinking about how I like to
No.
plan some of these things? We haven't taken. No,
Are you feeling like I'm not giving you enough attention?
It's possibly. I put some work into this podcast, Laurie Kilmartin. I don't know. Like last week's picture, there was a backlash. That was a big backlash about
and
that
there
picture.
should have been.
Well, I would
You
like
tried
you
to-
I would like you to take the picture without me this
I'm not.
week.
Why is this your thing that one of us has to not be in the picture?
Because we have to do it because it's a flip book of the fucking aging process, as far as I can tell. Because we have a
What?
goddamn picture every week. Every week there's a damn picture.
Yeah, that's what every week there's a podcast. What are you angry about?
I don't want to do a picture every week. I want
have
there
to.
something exactly. Right, so I would like them to be interesting and different. And
It's not
something.
interesting to put a monster in the picture. It's alarming. It's
I'm
alarming.
sorry. It's not interesting. You are entirely incorrect. That statement is that is a double negative as far as I'm concerned, because it is interesting to put a monster in the picture at all times, at every moment.
This is where
Please
we
introduce a monster
really part
into the
ways.
picture. Didn't you remember when Chekhov said that? Never introduce a monster into the picture. You're right. You're right. I do remember that. Gotta laugh, Kyle. Gotta laugh.
What is that? What you're going for?
Almost always. It's one of my. It's almost a go-to. So what else do I have? Oh, my. This happened today on Twitter.
Yes.
I had to block a gentleman.
Yeah.
Who said that my belief systems were in error and that I was a fool.
Did he follow
And
you?
He had been following me forever. And I'm sure he's a fan. Because at
Yeah.
the end of it all, he said, well, you're wrong about this and this and this. And I said, well, you can believe whatever you want, but I'm not. Or something like that. And then he said, but you're still funny, in that condescending. And I was like, am I still cute? Even though I can't have politics? Am I just a girl with a... And so I said, well, you're still condescending, so I'm going to block you.
Why not just mute?
Well, because...
I just muted a guy on the way over here at a stoplight.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's nice. It was somebody... there's just this whole thing where someone's like, you're really funny, but I clearly do not think you're smart enough to have your own political opinions.
Do you think
And-
that's what they're saying, or they're just saying I disagree
not on
with
purpose.
you?
They're saying I disagree with you, which is fine, but they're
And then they're
putting
trying
it
to
in a
prove why they're right.
Yes, and so we have the conversation, and they don't, like if you say you don't like Hillary Clinton because of TPP,
Oh God, was it one of those?
Yeah, it was one of those.
Oh, never mind.
It went on like that.
Ignore
I said,
everything I just said.
well, all I said is, who is the public servant or president that is your hero who ran for something that I will point out is a rapist and a murderer and probably an adulterer? And then dead silence, except for, you're saying that I'm sexist. And then I was like, no, we're done.
You can't talk to these people.
I stopped. I had to call it.
can't.
I called it a day.
Hey, I had two this last week. Okay, right after I usually just do work on the monologue at
Yeah.
Conan, right? And we
Oh, right.
we pitch ideas and stuff, but they they never go anywhere.
Oh, like sketch ideas and stuff?
Yeah, and then you have to enlist troops to help you because we're, like retarded and what's a camera, like we don't know
I
how to
just
do
write
anything.
one-liners. Leave me alone.
So, but one of them did well, which was, and I get two like in a week and a half, which is
You sold essentially.
not sold. I just
but
pitched,
you pitched.
and they got okayed, and they made it all the way to the show.
Holy smokes!
One of them was
Congrats.
thank you. It was kind of cool. It was one of the Super Bowl commercials with the Audi commercial. Did you see it? Did I tell you this?
No.
Okay. It's the Audi commercial where it's a father doing a VO over his daughter doing like go-kart racing and stuff. And
Okay.
And for some reason, Audi decided to be very like Title IX feminist. Him saying, "Do I tell my daughter she's worth less than a man? Do I tell her that her mother's worth less than her father? Do I tell her that her grandmother's worth less than the grandfather?" And then we cut to Donald Trump going, "Yes, absolutely," and it worked really well.
Oh, good. Yeah.
And then the other thing, but that was pretty easy. That was just like editing a little bit of commercial and then the Clips guy from Clips, the Clips.
Did you have
department.
to edit it yourself?
No, here's what I do. I
thank God.
go, "Hey, how about this?" And then we find something with Donald Trump.
Right.
And then you have like the Clips department finds you like 15 clips of Trump saying no. I mean,
Okay.
they give you so many. You
Yeah.
you just point and then someone puts it together and stuff.
That's awesome.
It's really cool. And then the other idea was, when Trump slammed Nordstrom's for
Yes.
dropping Ivanka, and so Nordstrom's stock went up 7% as a result. So I pitched this idea of how about I initially pitched a joke where like Best Buy now is saying they're not selling Ivanka stuff, which they don't sell anyway,
Right.
And so then I kind of somebody else said, "Oh, try Radio Shack," and so I pitched it where Radio Shack is saying, "Well, we heard you loud and clear. We're not going to sell Trump stuff anymore." And then we got a bunch of Radio Shack items, and then just ham-fistedly sort of wrote, Melania's VHS.
Right.
So it was really like these
yeah.
clunky names with them. And then it was like a commercial for Radio Shack, and they threw things in a shredder and a
Yeah.
fire and an alligator's mouth. And we had a fake alligator. So
Fake alligator.
It was so cool. But like you had to order all these elements, and then Levi McDougal, who's one of our writers,
Yep.
was like, kind of did it, but I was sort of like hanging out, and just offering my thoughts and stuff, and just like, I don't know how people direct. It's so stressful. You have to decide everything. Do you want this right here? Is this a medium shot? Is it a close shot? Is it a wide shot?
Right.
And they have two cameras, and you just have to go yes, no, and it's really hard.
Yeah,
I would, and there's like 20 people that are just hanging out waiting for you to make a decision. Yes. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
And so Levi was doing all of that.
Oh, good.
And I was, because I don't know what the
It's a
fuck.
that's a learned
know.
skill. It's a learned skill. You could learn it.
And
It's
then-
not like you couldn't learn it.
You could learn it,
but it would
I mean,
just take time.
it's like, okay, so the laugh is going to be on. It's like what I learned from editing my special was, I need a middle shot for the punchline.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what I learned from having the camera guy leave.
Oh, nice.
Okay, but so now you gotta pick, which shot is gonna have that, be tight. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a lot. And then when you get into editing bay, you're like, oh, we should have got this shot. We forgot. Do we have that one? No, we didn't get it. And
Right.
you have to remember to get all these different types of shots. And
Yeah, it's definitely
stressful, man.
It's a real gig.
Yes.
I just shot this thing with Greg Fiddler, and it was a quiz show.
you said shat.
Did I say shat?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't. We shit upon a shat, and no, we didn't. It was we shot a thing, and there was 3 cameras.
Yeah.
and there was a director guy, and there must have been a guy who was really good with camera stuff because
Yeah.
the director kept saying, "Come and look at this shot. What do you think of this shot?" And
Yeah.
so there was collaboration. It was
Yeah.
I liked how they all worked together.
Yeah.
I mean, it seemed like more of a team sport than stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
Like shooting something feels more.
But it doesn't feel improvisational. That's what I love about stand-up. Even though you're tied to your act, you still have you have all the room you want to do whatever you want. You just go back to your act when you need to.
Yep.
And so I sort of have that attitude whenever I approach something. It's like, well, I'll figure it out when I get there. But you can't do that with direct, like.
No, and you can't do
you
it
have
with
to-
the book either, though, can you? I mean, the book is super structured.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
your structure,
Yeah.
but you have to a certain number of words, and it has to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's that coming?
It's good. It's good. It's I need about 3,000 more words.
Okay, I think last week you needed 4.
Yeah.
So
You're right.
I think we're doing good. Plugging along.
But it's like you know, making a bed and you smooth out one side and then the wrinkle moves and then it just keeps moving all over the place.
Yeah.
You know? It drives me nuts. But
Fair enough, though. That's an excellent analogy because it why wouldn't that be the way with a book?
yeah.
But it's that way with the act with your act, but you can't tell because
You're just working on one part at a time, one little joke at a time, right?
what I tend to do is like essentially I'll work from the edges. And so I'll brush it into the middle, and I'll brush it into the middle, and so the middle is just a big wrinkled mess. But I can get out of it, and then I'm in smooth sailing on the other side of the bed.
I did the improv last night. I was at Crab Apples and then the regular show too.
Nice.
Yeah, it was really cool. Like I left the house at like 7:15.
Yeah.
Went up almost immediately at the improv, and then went over to Crab Apples. They put me right up, and then I was home by 9:15 to read to my kid.
Oh.
I was like, this is heaven. But I kind of, you know, I wanted to hang out and watch a Crab Apples.
Yeah, because
You know,
Crab Apples is a delight.
it is, and I love the lab, and I love that feeling. They got the tea lights. It's all. It feels very tinkly in LA. And,
Yeah.
and I don't always want to be the person that's rushing someplace. you
Yeah.
know?
And New York has more of a vibe where you can hang out because there's always another
Yeah, and then
train.
there's no guilt and there's no child for me waiting at home. Like, I'll
Right.
be in New York this weekend. I'll hang out.
Oh, that'll be great. Are you
Yeah.
going to make it for that Sunday gig,
Yes, I
or-
will. Thank you for hooking me up.
Sure,
I'm
sure.
I'm hosting Ask Cat on Sunday night, and then
And then heading over to
heading over
the
to
knitting
the Knitting
factory?
Factory, the last
for
spot
Will
at the Knitting
Miles.
Factory.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Those are 2 great gigs.
Yeah.
In New York City. Oh well, it'll be Monday
It'll
when
be
this
done.
comes out.
Yeah.
It'll be done. But I did a Melinda Hale storytelling thing
Oh.
for at Bar Lubitz on Monday,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the only. And then I've just done a million podcasts because of the album.
Yes.
Yes, I did Emily Heller's podcast.
Oh, you were right after me. I was right before you.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's and it was fascinating. They were talking about that dog movie. Did you know that dog movie is about a dog that died? And this is the most
It gets
egregious
reincarnated.
human. People who love this movie,
Anthropomorphizing.
you don't get dogs. That's what I say. You don't get to have a dog if you think that, because it's about a person who has a dog,
Right.
And the dog dies, and then the dog, the actor playing the dog is in their next dog, and the whole movie is that dog person trying to
That spirit
spirit
keeps living with those people.
right, and trying to tell them that, hey man, I'm your original dog. You're like, hey, why don't you let go of your fucking dog and get a new dog? I mean,
Well, they did get a new dog.
They got a
It's
new dog.
The dog who can't let go.
yeah, that's what it is. That I think is
Did you
is,
see
is
the
the
movie?
true bitterness of it. No, much like Comedian, I have an
You
extensive
have an opinion based on
on
rumor
just
and
rumor.
trailers.
That's it. So I did Emily Heller's podcast. I did the Level 7 Access podcast, which is entirely dedicated to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And Paige
God.
Branson, who is on that podcast, did the artwork for my new album.
Oh, cool.
She did the cover art. So I'm about to do something called Murder She Spoke. Have you
Yeah.
heard of Murder She Spoke? It's the same people who used to do Pretty Little Liars.
Yeah.
And Murder She Spoke, you go to Ben's house. He orders you a sandwich or a meal. You watch a murder she wrote, and then
Oh, I think I've heard of that.
and then you talk about Murder She Wrote for another hour. So it's essentially a social event, and it's lovely. I'm doing Doug Benson and Karen Anderson.
Oh, yeah.
They're dining with Doug and Karen, also on Nerdist.
Now, I don't like eating with people.
No, you want to sit with possibly some sourdough bread and some apple alone.
But I mean, you don't know who's going to be chewing violently.
I think that they do it enough that they're not.
You don't know how they chew. Do you know how they chew?
I've been on that show 3 times.
Has it ever bothered you?
It has never bothered me.
All right.
And they have listeners, so I assume
Right.
the listeners know going in that it's called Dining with Doug and Karen.
No, I'm just saying, like watching somebody.
Watching people.
You're on a
eat.
podcast, you're talking, and you're eating at the same time. Something gross is bound to happen, right?
Right. So far, so good.
Right.
It might be bad when I bring them my chicken of the gods, because that's what I'm doing.
Are you supposed to bring a meal?
I'm bringing chicken this time. I don't know why, but and then I did Crybabies, which was some sort of earwolf thing that I was an hour late for. I've had a hell of a week. Let me just say that.
That's a lot of talking.
It's a lot of bullshit. But I haven't done sets. That's what's
yeah.
really irritating. I
Yes.
did a storytelling thing for Melinda, but starting, I think, tomorrow, I've got sets forever. Like I'm doing.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
run.
Yeah, I got a good run. I'm doing maybe Saturday. It's like Good Heroin, and then Uncab, and then The Biz, and then Akbar, and then something called Highland.
Yeah.
And then I'm doing a thing at Acme Theater, and then Sauce on Friday, and If You Build It. I mean, I'm
You
doing.
have all the show names memorized. I memorized who booked it.
Oh, yeah, I don't
Like
have
I'm
that.
doing Brian Cook's thing tomorrow.
You're doing
It's Big Money, right?
Big Money
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
Virgil.
Yeah.
That's a great gig. And Ophira Eisenberg emailed me. She's my voice doppelganger. You know Ophira, right?
Yeah, I do. I'm trying to.
She, somebody said that we
trying
had the
to-
same voice.
I don't
And then I
know
had
that
her
I
on the
agree
Dork
with
Forest. Try to listen to the episode of the Dork Forest with me and Ophira and tell who is talking. It's
Okay.
actually quite weird. She's from Toronto and I'm from
Right.
Wisconsin. So we kind of have a comparable
You
northern...
you hit high pitches similarly, I guess.
Yeah, it's weird. And Kyle liked my album. I gave him a copy of my album.
You gave me one. I was going to listen to tomorrow, so I could. I'm telling you, I had it all planned.
Well, it comes out March 3rd, everybody, and you can pre-order it now on Amazon or on iTunes.
that's cool.
It's good, and it's
Is Dan done with it?
Dan is done with it. All he's doing is the art. I ordered because there's not going to be hard copies of the CDs until
Yeah.
the end of March.
Yeah.
And I'm going on that cruise. I'm going to get those cards.
Oh, where they?
I had to
can
call
download?
Kyle and ask him how the cards worked. Because
These are linked to the next generation.
These are linked to, I guess, cards. And he's like, it's a gift card, essentially. And I was like, yeah, but if you buy a gift card, it's empty. And he's like, right. These are loaded, and they will have only your album on it. And then, so you will sell them for $10. And then what they will do is they
Do
will
people
label,
buy those?
yeah, and then and yes, they do. according
You're
to
like
Kyle.
you're the new gen. Like you're the generation of comics that it sells stuff and it's cool and it's not.
Oh, there's no stigma attached to
Yeah.
it at all. And it
You're
has
the
never-
leader of that generation.
You were born in a good time when it was okay to make a living.
Because there's no other way to make money.
right.
Right. That's what we realized in the 90s, that's where bands made all of their money was on merch.
So people will buy. They'll buy a card,
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're buying the MP3s.
but they prefer to buy a CD, right?
It depends on the audience.
Yeah.
I would say older crowds tend to want to buy CDs or places that are a little less like tech savvy.
Yeah.
But then places that are more tech savvy are down to buy a download card because you're basically just buying the download from the person and
Yeah.
getting cash instead of buying it on iTunes.
Well, and how do you sell your how do your VHS tapes sell?
Oh, really great.
Yeah, it's you got a jewel box going, a J box
Remember, I
with
do
the.
legitimately sell cassette tapes.
He does sell
That's
cassettes,
right.
as does Brandy Posey.
Yeah.
Yeah, she printed cassettes. There aren't even CD players in cars anymore, much less a cassette player. But don't you give them the card with
There's
the?
a download code inside the cassette,
There you go.
like that comes with. The
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so they can
That's
have both.
funny.
Yeah, it's funny.
That's
it's a
great.
joke, you guys. It's a funny
Does
joke.
it cost a lot to do that?
No, they're super cheap. It's why you do them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the cards are cheap because they're all loaded and
No,
stuff.
but I mean the cassette tape.
Also cheap.
Really?
Yeah, cheaper
Okay.
than CDs.
cheaper than CDs.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
to do a cassette and a card, like a Joe cassette and a card, costs you less than to do a CD.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Maybe about the same, all said and done, but probably a little bit less.
All
I
right.
definitely made money back faster on the cassette and download code than I did on the CD.
Oh, that's kind of hilarious.
Huh.
He made more money. I just want everyone to hear that you made your money back faster with the cassette and the card. 'Cause
Yeah.
he's
Oh,
not
okay.
mic'd, 'cause
Yeah,
he's
right.
not mic'd. Interesting.
I thought you were mansplaining money.
I wanted to mansplain how money is
they
made.
get
you
it.
guys.
I think I got
So
my
if
money
something
back. Really
costs
works for them.
$2 and you charge $6. If something costs $6 and you charge 10, oi, whatever.
Oh my God.
Let's do comic of the week,
Wait. Oh, okay.
right?
Wait.
38.
Yes.
Karen Kilgariff.
Yay.
We've mentioned her 1,000 times.
Yes. She just got a huge write up in BuzzFeed for her podcast.
My Favorite Murder.
Yeah.
Yeah, My Favorite Murder. That was an amazing article about My Favorite
It
Murder.
was. I listened to one and the story scared me. I'm a 9-year-old. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. But
No.
but I want the way they wrote about it, I'm like, I should listen to some more because I
It's-
love listening to her, but then when they got to the story, I was like, this is
Too creepy.
I'm just gonna play this in my head. I don't need to hear it.
Right. People love true crime, and it's
I don't
having,
like any crime.
No, I don't want any part of true crime. It's scary. It
Yeah.
turns out. Michelle McNamara on the Dork Forest talking about true crime creeped me out every episode that she was
Yeah.
on. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
that it creeped me out, but it was also interesting.
Right.
And people do love it. And I guess there's been some catharsis with people
Yeah.
who have had trauma listening to that podcast
With women, because
Yeah.
you're hearing women discuss it and reframe it in a way, and that's helping. That's really cool.
Yeah, I have
Didn't
to say
occur to
that
me
I
at
was
all.
jealous of, they said that there was of their downloads, which is funny because I was jealous of this show from my Dork Forest window. So what is interesting is that I have
The constant is Jackie is jealous.
It's a nesting doll of jealousy that doesn't make any sense. So, because it's all going to work out. And
I
Karen
guess
Kilgariff is fucking
Oh,
hilarious.
she's so funny. And she's got a really cool speaking voice. I mean, her singing voice is pretty,
Mm-hmm.
but her speaking voice is really kind of cool. It's kind of scratchy, but
Yeah, and she did a
strong at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah,
And-
I like
and
listening to her voice.
She has duets with Drennan
With
that she
Drennan
did.
Davis, yeah.
Drennan Davis for a while, and now she has an album on Bandcamp that's totally free.
Wow.
So if you go, I think it's called Jesus is Everywhere.
How's she
maybe?
gonna make money off that?
No, she can't. She can't make because it's free.
Why
and
is she
doesn't
doing
even.
that?
I don't know. Well, I think you can buy it. I think it's $4. I don't know. I don't know if Karen Kilgariff is living to check. I don't understand Karen Kilgariff's financial. I know that I should mansplain the situation between.
She's so good, man.
She's so good. We should all give her
Charge
money. But,
premium dough for that
yeah,
comedy,
but
man.
go listen. But find that album and throw some
She
money
was
at it.
also in was it Girls Guitar Club with Mary Lynn
Rice
Rice-Cub?
Cub.
Yeah,
Yep.
they were pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's just at Karen Kilgariff, right? So if you get a chance to see Kilgariff, I'm doing Uncab this weekend, I think, with her.
Oh, cool.
And it might be with her, might be with. Well, they're not the same person. I don't know why I would get them confused. I wouldn't. Allie Willis, who
Yeah,
wrote September,
Okay.
Yellow, or somebody.
Sometimes I
Not
don't
Yellow?
like the visits into your brain.
Well, you are not alone. This week is a wash. This week is a curse-filled wash, as far as I'm concerned. The 2 flat tires. I got in an altercation. It was not good. It's been a bad week, but good news. It's over.
Yeah.
I think what will help is the fact I literally have not had any sets, and when I don't go up,
Yeah. you
I
start
get
getting
twitchy
crazy.
and squirrely,
Yes.
and grumpy and
Jealous.
all of it, and obviously jealous
Yes.
of other people's statistics. I don't think that can possibly matter. So, yeah. Are you? So you're going to New York on Friday?
I'm going Friday night. I'm taking my old JetBlue red eye.
The old JetBlue red eye Friday
I'm-
night.
I'm so mad. You know what? I got a window seat, and I decided on the last window, I'm like, from now on, I'm aisle only. You know,
That's it. What? Why?
because my legs get too squished.
Oh, right, because you're tall.
Ish.
Yeah.
But I mean, they have us all packed back there. And I got it. I bought this ticket before I made this executive decision. And I got
you should
myself
be
a
able to-
window because sometimes I forget that I changed my mind.
Yes.
So I'm like, oh, the window. I love to curl up against it. And I'm like, I fucking don't like to curl up against it. It squishes my legs.
You're trapped.
I'm trapped, and it's like solid. It's sold out. There's
Oh,
a couple,
and there's no way to switch. Yeah.
No, yeah. So I'm
Sold out.
So I'm pissed. And then on Saturday night, I'm doing a set at the Stand.
Nice.
On the 8:00 show, and then I'm doing Corey Spencer. Who did Cinderblock Comedy Festival. She has a show at QED that I'm headlining.
I'm doing the Cinderblock. You did it last
Oh, are
year.
you?
Yeah.
It was really fun.
Oh, good.
Yes, Mindy Tucker, the photographer.
Yeah.
She she takes great pictures.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So she was taking a ton. She just let me have. She took a bunch at Cinderblock and then just gave me the link to them and just asked for credit.
Photo credit, yeah.
Yeah.
It's, you guys that are
Jesus.
taking pictures of comics on stage and just letting us do it for photo credit, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's
Why are you doing that? I
right.
posed the same question to the talented Mindy Tucker
exactly.
that did the talented Karen Kilgariff.
Exactly. There should be some exchange of goods and services.
Yeah.
But, because... Schlissel at Stand Up Records, he was like, I need a picture of the real you at some point.
Oh, my God.
In this,
No, you don't, Dan.
And so we're just going with the drawings. We're going
Including
with
your heart?
the real me. Let's see the blackness
your
of
dark
my
heart.
soul. And yeah. And so I sent him a picture that was taken on stage probably a year ago.
Yeah.
And that just photo credit.
And I remember the old days. You had to you got to go to the headshot guy, and
Yeah.
they all looked the same. They all had that '80s headshot look, and now it's just someone takes a snapshot of you on stage, and you can use that as your headshot. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's really cool, and nobody wants that weird headshot with the gray background.
Yeah.
And you're like, thank God.
Yeah, that background, and then. Like the last 10 years, I think Ted Alexander was the first one I saw do it. Maybe Ted and Sue Murphy. And then everyone started doing it posing with the old mic, the old radio mic.
Oh, the old radio mic.
Which I thought when Ted did it, I loved it. And Sue's was great. And then
Too many
I just
people.
see a lot of it now.
Well, yeah, I mean, there were some funny ones.
Yeah.
When people would pose themselves in funny situations, almost always a miss. Almost always. But
It's like never do a funny intro and maybe never do a funny headshot.
Maybe not. The one that I do like, and this guy still works, he's road guy,
Yeah.
Tim Kavanaugh. Out
I
of,
don't know, I haven't
I
seen
think
it.
he's a
I know who he is, but I haven't
yeah,
seen his headshot.
but his headshot was him tied down like the Lilliputians had him, and then tiny little army dudes or somebody's just sitting on top of them. So it was, and that's got to be a 30-year-old headshot.
Yeah.
But the headshots, my
Remember
favorite.
Mitch Fattel with his head basically in a pair of women's boobs? Was that it?
Why wouldn't that be it? Why? I shared this is my Mitch Fatel story. I worked with him in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And we had to share a condo.
Yeah.
And I was featuring. And I probably weighed 60 pounds more than I do.
Yeah.
And he told me, you should never lose weight. That's your hook.
Oh, man.
Is that you're the fat girl.
Remember
And
just
I was
the
like,
search
out
for
loud?
a hook? I know. Just that
Search for a
You
hook.
gotta have a hook. And that just led to a generation of I'm half this and I'm half that. And but
you
it
know
also
who
led
married
to
somebody else?
Stuart Lee's greatest joke.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Making fun of American comics that do that.
Oh, yeah, Stuart Lee.
But what were you gonna say? Sorry.
It was, yeah, I was like, you don't care about my heart? It's, I thought I'd lose some weight, but it didn't make any, it didn't make any, I mean, he just thought, I'm thinking about a hook and never mentioning it. How great would it be if you got a hook, but never mentioned it, which is, I want to just wear buckskins. I want to just, my moccasins
Wait, is this
that I
Mitch
got?
Patel's idea now or your idea?
No, this is my idea, which is
Okay.
why my brain isn't working. How great would it be if I had just fringed buckskin shirt and leather pants with buckskins and my moccasins and maybe a coonskin hat on a cold day?
I'm okay with that.
That was why I had Paige Branson draw me in that outfit.
I know. I think it
I
looks
was
really
like,
cool.
Yeah, how great. You know what? I could carry it off. That's what I'm telling you, people. I
Oh,
could
I
carry
agree.
it off. I don't
the
know that
machinations behind it. Oh, and then I would never tell. They'd be just like,
no,
it's
I would
the
just
leather
go on
gal.
stage with just this fringed buckskin outfit, never mention it, do socio-political comedy, and family oriented stand up, and people would say, "Yeah, I saw this weird." They would never remember my name. It would just be the weird fringed buckskin lady, and well into my 80s.
Yes,
well into my
you'll
80s.
be Byron Allen's favorite go-to guest.
Will I be unleashed?
get
Will I be
Buckskin here.
unleashed? It's like, we're going to want Buckskin Lady, and she's going to be unleashed, you guys. Everybody seems super leashed. I've done that show once. Have you ever done that show?
I did it
Unleashed?
once. Yeah.
Here was the amazing thing about it. I was genuinely unleashed.
How so?
Because nobody asked me what jokes I was doing. They just said,
Oh, really?
What, yeah, just tell me what the joke is about. And he'll say, so I understand you bought a new refrigerator. And then you'll tell your joke. And I was like, okay. So nobody, it could have been anything.
Yeah, that's such a brazen,
We're just doing tink, tink, tink round robin.
No attempt to finesse it or make it seem conversational. And that way you have to admire the greed.
600 episodes. There has
Yes,
to
and
be
the dude's got his own studio or something.
Yeah.
He's a millionaire, a multimillionaire.
Right. He just had to pay a bunch of back SAG after, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because there was no residuals. He forgot to pay everybody. He forgot, you guys.
That's going to happen.
Yeah.
Did we get unplugged?
No, we just kind of,
Oh, we
whatever this
jostled?
is, it's fine. There's some
Okay.
jostling. It's all good. Yeah, you know Wyatt Cenac has a show on a Comedy Central stand-up show.
Oh, yeah?
Based on his gig in Brooklyn, Night Train.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I think it's season 2 now.
That's cool.
Yeah, it makes me want to just go, hey, I do stand-up, which is how I like to get booked on things. That's how I like to do it. I like to text people or email them. I did do, you know what I did today? I sent out LA Avails, which is, my LA
Yeah.
Avails plan, which is
Yeah.
people who have Monday night shows.
Yeah.
These are my Mondays that are available.
Yeah.
And like that all week.
That's smart.
So, but I only got through Tuesday. But I got 3 sets because of it.
That's great.
It's, and I'm like, all right.
Yeah, I don't know how to proceed now,
With
any, trying to get
locals?
it. Like, no. Like, okay, finish the book, right? So it's officially
like what's next?
No, yeah. Like, it's officially a month from now when it's due. Exactly from today. It's February 15th, and it's due March 15th. So then after that, I think I'm gonna put together a set and try to get on hopefully the one I work on. But if not, then
Just
maybe
submit 'em.
another late nights, whatever. But and do that.
Right.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm sort of like, okay, so then it's weird. I had this thing that I was driven to do for a long time,
Yeah.
and then it was hanging over my head, and now it's done. And
And you got to reinvent. Like, I don't have the next album's signature bit.
oh, of course not.
That's-
You just finished taping
I just
it.
finished taping it 2 months ago, but in my head I'm like, oh, I don't. And I know that it's ridiculous, obviously. It's
it is.
completely absurd. But I just keep thinking, oh, well, I got to do the next thing. And so I'm spinning in my head, but it doesn't really matter. I know that it's crazy. So, but I do wonder, what am I writing? What is, and, I was talking to Kyle about the album, and he said how darker it was, like, and I was saying that whenever someone says, what album should I get when I have my albums at the merch table after the show, and I was always like, you don't have any of them? And they said no. I said, Bread. You're going to want to get Bread because Bread is sort of the happiest kind of one. It's and it's probably a best of album because it's got the stuff from my no longer self-published first album, which was called Cake Is Not My Downfall. Mm-hmm. And so it's got 20 minutes of that and like 25 minutes of the next 6 years.
Yeah.
And so it's super tight, and it was and that's why it did so well. It was top 10 on Amazon for the year.
Wow.
The year it came out. And it's kind of me at my most likable,
Yeah.
I think, but not necessarily. Who cares? But the Horcrux is super personal. Mm-hmm. This thing, Hero, that's coming out March 3rd, is Kyle and I were talking about it. It's like, it's much darker.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's a little more aggro, It's just, I'm pretty aggressively I'm like, these are the jokes, you people, which is obnoxious.
That's the way. That's what I love.
Right. Oh my God. It was Felicia Michaels said, Angry Jackie is my favorite Aunt Jackie. And I said, well, welcome to a golden age. Because we're in it. Yep. So.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, where are we going to be in comedy? You know?
Yeah, I don't know where.
I mean,
I don't know what's
we
next.
definitely got skipped in a way. Like
Are we the Korean War veterans of stand-up comedy?
Yes, our war doesn't count. It's not. It was a conflict.
It was a police
action.
Yeah, maybe.
Somebody, just offered me this gig and it was really low paying. It was far drive, but they meant well. That's all they had.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
I was happy to be asked, but I said no because I didn't feel like, and then it just would be worth all the trouble.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I wonder what Kathleen Madigan's doing right now.
Speaking of a nesting doll of
my
of
God.
envy.
My
Yeah.
God. I mean,
She's working.
She's
I'll
like,
tell you this. She's probably working.
seriously, she's like you remember the 90s supermodels like Linda Evangelista and Christy Turlington?
Nope. But okay.
But Linda Evangelista
We are different people in many ways.
famously said,
Yes.
I don't get out of bed for less than $10,000 a day.
Oh, wow.
Do you remember that quote? She was
Vaguely,
sort
that
of famous
sounds-
for
yeah,
saying
yeah, it
it
sounds
and
like-
everyone hating her. That's why I feel like Kathleen. She must not hit the stage
For less
for
than
less than
$5,000.
$5,000, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to be a local gig.
And right, that's got to be, I'm willing to drive to Santa Barbara for $5,000.
Yeah,
'Cause
or I'll
it's
be
a-
driven.
I take my helicopter.
Like I don't know. It's just wow. That's another train track right
Here's
there.
what I love about Kathleen Madigan is that she is clearly, first of all, she's an exceptional comic.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
I mean, there's the writing and
Yeah.
the performance. It's all
and
there.
workaholic and yeah.
Right. She's the comedy's there because she's a great comic.
Yeah.
The workaholism that I admire so much in
Yeah.
a great comic
Yes.
is totally there.
Yeah.
You know, she
Even
doesn't
now.
ever phone it in.
Right.
She's not
And I think
sloughing.
she's very careful with her time, right? You know
What do you mean?
Like I don't see her out doing like these little things that you and I do all the time.
Oh, kind of
know?
protecting the material a little
But just
bit?
maybe just protecting her time. Like
Oh, her
I'm gonna
life.
just
Maybe she
have
has a whole life?
Yeah. Like I feel like I'm not allowed to have a life because I'm still not where I want to be as a comic. So I should be out all the time.
Right.
And I
don't
wonder
know.
what it's like to feel like, hey, I have several
stay home.
tens or twenties of thousands of dollars worth of gigs every single month, and they'll continue because I'm established and I have this, and whatever, however, she makes that
Whatever that
happen.
works.
Yeah,
However
I don't know what that's
Turns
like.
out, if that worked, we would both be doing that.
Yes, but I mean, so you can go, hey, I don't have a show for a week and a half. Maybe I'm just going to hang out with friends, or maybe I'm going to go on a vacation, or I'm not going to do anything,
Right.
or just I don't know. I don't
know.
It's just
I
a
sometimes
different life.
randomly text her.
Yeah.
And she hasn't responded in a couple of years. I think she's busy. She's a good lady. Perfectly nice.
Yeah.
But I never take it. I genuinely don't ever take it personally.
Yeah.
I'm always like, I don't care.
She might.
Because I reach out to so many people.
Yeah.
Because I'm bored. And so I will literally, like, I'll sometimes text Hardwick.
Yeah.
Guess
Chris
who?
Hardwick?
Yeah. Does he want that? No. How could he possibly want that?
What are you doing?
What are you doing,
doing
Keisha?
that?
It's I don't know.
Text
I was
Tom
thinking-
Cruise.
It's
He
just
probably
hey,
does.
what are you thinking about? Hey, did you see that new thing? Did you see Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. this week? I mean, it's just, I think of a person, and I'd like, when we aren't, like, I'm not friends with Chris Hardwick, but I
Yeah.
think I could be if we hung out more, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that we ever will, but sometimes I think of him, and I have friendly thoughts about him, so I think, I wonder what he's up to.
That's what I stop at the friendly thoughts.
Right. I have texted.
What if he texts you back? Then you got to text him back. Ugh.
No,
Too much interaction.
I think it was probably 4 or 5 years ago was the last time I texted Patton out of the blue.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Hey, Patton, what's going on?" He's like, "Hey, I'm on a movie." And
I know.
He did not say that. He was perfectly nice about it because he is a good guy. But
Yes.
there's like, I mean, it's the Dork Forest. I get a lot of people who are like, I think we would be really good friends, and I'm like, we would be. We would totally be really good friends if we hung out more. There's not enough hours in the day to hang out with everybody who I would be friends with because I like. I mean, there's so many cool people. I think it's just
Calm down.
oh Jesus! I knew that look on your face. As soon as I was like,
This
I'm
is the
about to
dark
say a nice
Jackie?
thing.
Oh, my
this is
God.
not the angry Jackie we paid for. What happened here?
Kyle, please give me a good answer.
58.
Oh my God,
58. Oh, that's neat. That's okay. So we're gonna do a live one, the 27th
Of February,
of
right?
February.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's coming right up, isn't
That's
it?
coming up. Yeah, come
At
out to
Flappers.
that at Flappers in Burbank. If you're in the Bay Area, if you're in the Los Angeles area, come out
Drive
to
from the Bay
Flappers.
Area and be here at 8 p.m.
Drive down,
8
right.
p.m. at Flappers Burbank.
Yeah.
I'm also headlining Flappers in March.
Oh, cool.
17, 18.
That's great.
So that'll be 4 shows that I'll be doing.
I'll be mostly in Los Angeles. I'll be in LA or in New York the weekend of March 11th.
Okay.
I'm doing sets at the stand up at the moment, and hopefully some more too. I just got those.
Oh, good.
And then I'll be there for a week in April. So
So you're going to New York a couple of times.
yeah.
Yeah. I'll be in Spokane, Washington, and then Peoria, and then Winnipeg.
God, that's
So-
great.
Well, it's been great to be home, quite honestly, even though our kitchen has been torn up and I haven't been able to make enough chicken.
You're gonna leave. You won't have the time to enjoy it, but then you'll come back and it'll
Right.
be
It'll
Doris
be
Day's kitchen.
sweet,
It'll
sweet
be
kitchen.
Zelda Fitzgerald's kitchen.
We're gonna get new furniture too. We're thinking about getting new furniture like grown-ups.
Dude,
we're gonna
save it for the next podcast. We're at 60. Let's
fast-
go home.
Oh, exactly. Fair enough.
Now leaving Nerdist.com.